Hello and welcome back to Java Lessons and More. This is your host, Evan Gonshore. Gotta love that rhyme. Glad we made the name change from Java Lessons with Evan, but you can find some of the old stuff under that. Um, I think. Maybe. Anyway, apologies for missing a week. Was super busy last week, just didn't have the time. I also forgot what I wanted to teach last week, so it's because it's so very similar. I'm actually just going to throw this in just real quick at the very beginning here. So it's called a do while. So before we delete this while and move on to our next big topic, um, actually we'll delete, what are we going to delete here? Let me just make sure I'm doing the syntax right. Hold on. Syntax is like the formatting, and it's very particular. The programming languages, gotta be very careful, or they get like grumpy. Grumpy programs. Okay, here we go. So in order to make it a happy program, the condition of a do while goes at the end, and you punctuate it with a colon. So it's a little different in that regard. Um, da, 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 da. I'm gonna get rid of this stuff because I just don't want to make it confusing. And I'm not actually gonna run this just because I think it is that simple. If you do have questions, I'm more than happy to follow up about it. I just don't want to take time away from our main course, pun intended there, for this lesson. So anyway, that's a do while right there. You put a do, a curly brace, and it's to open it, and then you put something in there for it to do, and it automatically does it at least one time. That's the only difference between this and a do while loop. And then you just put your condition at the end. And that's it. So that's why I'm not going to waste any time with that. I had an example, but again, I forgot, so I apologize. But again, I think it's a pretty simple concept. I think that one is okay. Um, since we did while loops, it's okay to skip over that one. Um, so let's get rid of that. And we move on to one of my favorite programming things in this episode, which is the for loop. Da, da, da. Okay, so the for loop is kind of cool. Um, Basically, what it does is we actually don't need scanner IO or any of that, so I'm just going to go back to our very standard, and again, you can go back to some of the earlier lessons just to see the very, sorry, bumped the microphone there. Some of the very basics. But we got our basic program structure with the static void main. Again, you can see this on the YouTube channel. And we got our class on the outside. So what a for loop does is it says for FOR, not the number, for, and not the golf thing with the E at the end. That's right, I used to play some golf. Um, ba, 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 da, ba, 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 ba. Sorry. And then usually, typically, what you do is you define like integer equals, or integer, sorry, you have to give it, usually you do integer I or integer index, so int space I, the letter, equals. Um, Usually you start with a 1 or 0, it can depend on your application. We can get into more advanced thingies with this later. But um, bu- 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 um, yeah, let's just keep it basic for now. Uh, int I equals 1, that's inside a parenthesis. and then I, so then you put a semicolon, but it's not done yet because we still have to close the parentheses. So there's two more things that you add on. So it's the initial value into I equals 1. Then you say the condition here for it to stop. So I usually do like less than or equal to, we'll do 11. Yeah, we'll do 11 in this case, since I'm going to mix it up a little. And typically what you'll see is you'll just see at the end here, I, and then I just put another semicolon after less than or equal to 11, I plus plus. And what that'll do is it'll increment it one at a time. And I might actually show that real quick, to be honest. And then we put more brackety things, the squiggly brackets. And inside the for loop, I'm just going to have it print out I just to show what it does. But basically, the for loop just loops around a certain number of times, but you can interact with what it's doing. And I think this should work. Um, why doesn't it let me save it? Excuse me. Should be trying to build it first. Okay. Excuse me, sorry. Let's see how I print out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're interacting with that I. We can pull that variable in. And that can be useful in some more advanced applications, which I'm not going to mention right now. But just one little advanced thing, well, I guess one little detail we can do. I less than 11, then in that case it'll stop at 10, which I think that you're already familiar with that from our other videos, so I'm not going to waste too much time on that. I'm just going back for a sec. Okay, I thought it's at 12, which would be wrong. And then the other thing I was going to show you is that you can do like I plus 2, and we'll put it back to less than or equal to 11. So then you'll see that it that increment um, that increment what am I trying to say? That increment is it's variable. Oh, I plus 2. I didn't like it for some reason. Oh, plus equals. Sorry, that's my syntax error. So when you say something is like you can say I plus plus, which adds it to itself, or you can say I plus equals 2. I don't remember if we covered that. But basically, it means that you're taking the original value of I and then adding it to itself. So just as an easy way to show that right here, you can kind of just see it happening here. That's taking 1, it's coming in here, it's printing that out because it's less than or equal to 11. And then it's coming back up here. This is just the initial. And then this tells it what to do next. Plus plus increments it by 1. I plus equals 2 is going to take that I value of 1 that it was originally, add 2, so it'll be 3 now, and then set I equal to that. And that's still less than or equal to 11, so it'll come in here, and it'll print out 3. And then just to show one more time, it'll come back up. It'll say I plus equals 2, so it'll be the 3, it's going to come back up, add 2, it'll be 5. 5 is less or equal to 11, boom. And then it just keeps going until it gets to be greater than 11, then it stops. So that's a simple introduction to for loops. One of my favorite things in programming just because they're so simple and so have many wide uses. And yes, we will probably be seeing these things again just because they are so useful. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. As always, welcome your feedback, welcome your questions, welcome your comments, and main thing is hopefully you're learning something, and hopefully we'll have another lesson for you soon. Apologies about the hiatus, but thank you again. All right, bye bye for now. Yeah, take care and stay safe too.